Okay, so let us divide rational algebraic expressions applying the concept in dividing fractions, wherein we are going to get the reciprocal of the divisor and then proceed to multiplication. For example, we have 3 minus 3x squared all over x squared minus 25 divided by 2x squared minus 2 all over 25 minus x squared. So for this one, I can rearrange this in descending order of power. So we have negative 3x squared plus 3 all over x squared minus 25. Then for the divisor, the denominator here becomes the numerator, and then the numerator becomes the denominator since we are going to get the reciprocal. Okay, so we have in descending order of power, we have negative x squared plus 25 all over 2x squared minus 2. And then, I am going to proceed to multiplication. Alright. Now here, we have common monomial factor, which is 3. Since we're going to look for the common monomial factor first if it exists. So there exists a common monomial factor. We have positive 3. We can use negative 3. Okay, negative 3. Then the other would be x squared minus 1. Okay, so we have negative 3x squared divided by negative 3, that is x squared. And then 3 divided by negative 3, that is negative 1. Okay, all over. Okay, x squared minus 25 is factorable, but I would not factor this denominator, x squared minus 25, since there is a common polynomial here in the numerator of the other rational algebraic expression. So I just copy x squared minus 25. But on the other side, okay, we have, or the other rational algebraic expression, we have negative 1 as the common monomial factor here. This one. Negative 1, this is the common monomial factor. So the other factor would be x squared minus 25. Okay? And then for the denominator, we have 2 common factor, common monomial factor. And then the other factor would be x squared minus 1. Okay, so now look at this one. Common monomial factor is 2. Okay, 2x squared divided by 2, that is x squared. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So this time, I can cancel out the common factors in the numerator and denominator. So we have x squared minus 1 here. So this becomes 1, as I'm going to divide x squared minus 1 by x squared minus 1 becomes 1. This is also 1. And I also have, in the numerator, we have x squared minus 25. Divide x squared minus 25 becomes 1. We also have x squared minus 25 here. Divide x squared minus 25, that becomes 1. Okay. So, after that, we are going to multiply negative 3 by 1, by negative 1, by positive 1. So, we have positive 3 over, okay, this one, 1 times 2 times 1. So, we have positive 3 over 2. I'm going to write it up. Okay. So, I'm going to write it here. 3 over 2. So, this is our final answer. Ayan. Okay. So, another example. Let us use the white color. Okay. So, we have this one. X squared minus 7x plus 12 all over x divided by x squared minus 3x. So, the factored form of this one would be x minus 4 times x minus 3. And why did I use these factors? Because x times x, that is x squared. Negative 4 times negative 3, that is positive 12. And then, negative 4 and negative 3, when combined, we have negative 7. Then, just copy x in the denominator. Then, for this one, x squared minus 3x, the denominator is understood to be 1. So, the reciprocal would be 1 over, since this is the denominator, x squared minus 3x. The denominator becomes the numerator, and then the numerator becomes the denominator. Then proceed to multiplication. Okay? So, we have this one. So, we can cancel out the common factor if there is. No, I will factor this first. So, the common monomial factor of x squared minus 3x is x. Another factor would be x minus 3. Okay, so I can cancel out common factor in the numerator, which is x minus 3. So, x minus 3 divided x minus 3 becomes 1. X minus 3 divided x minus 3 is also 1. Okay, so the numerator x minus 4 times 1 times 1. So, we have x minus 4 over x times 1, that is x squared. Okay, so this is now the final answer. Okay, another one. We have c squared plus 3c minus 18 all over 6c squared minus 24 divided by 4c minus 12 all over 3c plus 6. So, the first thing we're going to do is to factor this numerator and this denominator. And at the same time, we're going to get the reciprocal of this one as well as factoring them. Okay, so we have C. Now, let us use the other color. Okay. So we have C plus 6 times C minus 3 for the factors of this trinomial. So we have C times C, that is C squared. 6 times negative 3, that is negative 18. And then combining 6 and negative 3, that is positive 3 as the coefficient of the middle term. And then for the denominator, we have 6 times C squared minus 4. Okay. Then for the divisor, the reciprocal would be in factored form 3 times C plus 2. Then for the numerator becomes the denominator. In factored form, we have 4 times C minus 3. Then proceed to multiplication. Okay. Okay, so that's multiplication symbol. Okay, but then C squared minus 4, this one is still factorable. This is difference of 2 squared. So, let me erase this one. I'm going to get the factored form. Okay, so the factored form would be c plus 2. Since it is c squared minus 4, right? So c plus 2 times c minus 2. Okay, so I can cancel out the common factors in the numerator and denominator. So we have c plus 3, c minus 3 rather. C minus 3 here, so this becomes 1. C minus 3 here becomes 1. We have c plus 2 becomes 1. C plus 2 becomes 1. See, because we divide the common factor by that common factor. So c plus 2 divides c plus 2, that's 1. Okay. Then, what else? We have 3. 3 divide 3 is 1. 6 divide 3 is also 2. Okay, so we have 6 plus, c plus 6 times 1 times 1 times 1. So we have c plus 6. Okay, c plus 6. All over. How about the denominator? We have 2 times 1 times c minus 2 times 4 times 1. So we have 2 times 1 times 4 times 1. We have 8 times c minus 2. Okay, this one. Okay, so this is now our final answer. C plus 6 all over 8 times c minus 2. Okay, another one. We have 5m squared minus 20m minus 125 all over 4m squared minus 16 divided by 3m squared minus 12m minus 63 all over 8 minus 2m squared. So, in factored form, do not forget to factor first before dividing or multiplying. Okay? So, we have the common factor here is 5. Common monomial factor. And then, m squared divide 5, that is m squared. Negative 20m divide 5, that is negative 4m. Then 105, negative 105 divide 5, that is negative 20. I'm sorry. Okay. So that's negative 21. All over common factor of 4m squared minus 16 is 4. So the other factor would be m squared minus 4. Okay, why? Because 4m squared divided by 4 is m squared. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. So for this one, we're going to get the reciprocal as well as the factored form. Okay, and then we're going to rewrite this in descending order of powers as well as factoring them. Okay, so we have negative 2 as the common factor. So the other would be m squared minus 4. And then for the denominator, this one becomes the denominator. In factored form, we have 3 times m squared minus 4m minus 21. Okay, why is that so? We have 3m squared divided by 3 is m squared. Negative 12m divided by 3 is negative 4m. Negative 63 divided by 3 is negative 21. Then proceed to multiplication. Ayan. So this is the symbol for multiplication. Okay? So in multiplication, we're going to cancel the common factor in the numerator and in the denominator to have a simplified product. Okay? So we have this one. 4m squared minus 4m minus 21 in the numerator. We also have in the denominator. So we can cancel this. This becomes 1. This also becomes 1. And we also have m squared minus 4 in the numerator and in the denominator of the other rational expressions. We can cancel. This becomes 1. This becomes 1 after dividing the common factor by itself. Okay. Now for negative 2 and 4, both divisible by 2. So negative 2 divide positive 2 becomes negative 1. Okay. This one becomes positive 2. Okay. So next, we're going to multiply what are the terms remain in the numerator and denominator. So we have 5, 1, negative 1, and positive 1. So 5 times 1 times negative 1 times positive 1, that is negative 5 over 2 times 1 times 3 times 1, so that is 6. So this is now our final answer. Okay, another one. We have 3a squared minus 3a minus 36 all over 2a squared plus 8a minus 10 divided by a squared minus a minus 12 all over a squared plus 3a minus 10. So first, we're going to factor the numerators and denominators, and so we're going to get the reciprocal of the divisor. Okay, so we have here, let us use the other color. Okay, so for the numerator, we have the common factor of 3. The other factor would be a squared minus a minus 6. Ano? Minus, okay, we have negative 36 divided by 3. That is, okay, 12. Negative 12. Okay, now for this one, the common factor is 2. Common monomial factor. And then the other factor would be a squared plus 4a minus 5. Then, for the divisor, we have a squared. The factored form of a squared plus 3a minus 10 would be a plus 5 times a minus 2. Okay, why? Because this one, factors are a. And then for negative 10, we have positive 5 and negative 2. Since positive 5 and negative 2, when combined, we'll get positive 3 in the middle term. Okay. Now for the denominator, okay, in factored for, I'm not going to factor this one because I could see the same trinomial as this one in the numerator. So just copy a squared minus a. So a squared minus a minus 12. Okay. Now for this one, a squared plus 4a minus 5, this is still factorable. So I'm going to factor this out. So I'm going to change in factored form. So it is a plus 5 times a minus 1. Right? Okay, so we have the factored form of a squared plus 4a minus 5 is, or are the two binomials. We have a plus 5 and a minus 1. So we can cancel common factors. A squared minus a minus 12 becomes 1. This becomes 1. Okay, then another one, we have a plus 5. A plus 5 here becomes 1, becomes 1. Then, what else? Okay, no other factors. No other common factors. So, we can have the simplified form. 3 times 1 times 1 times a minus 2. And then for the denominator, we have 2 times 1 times a minus 1 times 1. So, we have 3 times a minus 2 over 2 times a minus 1. Okay, so this is our final answer. Okay.